top 10 story mode units. Now, a lot of times we all get caught up on Sugo Fest, raid bosses, Coliseum, but we forget that there are some really good story mode characters to farm. So today, I'm bringing you guys my top 10 story mode characters that I think you should go out and try to get, because you never know when they're going to come in handy. So let's go ahead and get straight into it with number 10. So starting out the list, I have Kami Eneru, Enel, God Enel, whatever you want to call him. This is, in my opinion, one of the first ones on the list that you should farm because he has a really nice ability, which I'm going to go over in a little bit. But look at those stats. Pretty good stats. We're starting off, the first character has some pretty nice stats, and he's a 2-time side character that does reduce damage by 20%. Back in the day, that would have been good, but that's not really good anymore. But his ability does 6,000 fixed damage to all enemies, and on top of that, it boosts the attack of all side characters by 1.5 for one turn. So, in a sense, that is going to be something that, in my opinion, you would like to use if, for instance, you can't use your Impact Dial Usopp, who does a 2x boost, because you have to run Golden Pound. So, in that case, you definitely would want to have Enel ready to go for that 1.5 burst damage. It can do a lot of damage, so definitely one thing that you would definitely want to try to have in your disposal. Next up, we got Marguerite, the Kuja warrior. Now this one you can farm in Amazon Lily, and she's actually pretty versatile in certain situations. Now, just looking at her attack alone and her captain ability, nothing interesting, to be honest. Actually has mediocre attack, and her HP is not that good either. But the main reason that I put her on the list is because she fills a role that pretty much there's no other free-to-play version of her. What she does is that she deals 5,000 fixed damage, and she also amplifies the effect of orbs for by 1.5 for one turn, which is something that shooters don't really have, is a free-to-play orb booster. So she's the only free-to-play orb booster in the game, I believe, that does 1.5. And you know, that's something that you can definitely use on like your Stronghold Ace team if you have yet to pull Stronghold Frankie, or you have yet to pull someone like Van Augur. So definitely a nice unit to have, very unique role that she does take up. So next up is Crocodile Warlord of the Sea. Now, in my opinion, I believe that both Crocodile forms are pretty good, and so I put him right at the same level, same place on the list. But in this case, I am showing you the stats for the 5-star Crocodile, the Slasher Crocodile, which most of you guys will go with. His captain ability, again, reduces the 20% boost. You'll see a lot of these story characters do a lot of fixed damage and a lot of the same kind of things, but overall, very high attack, almost 1400 attack for a story unit, very early game story unit. And his special does change the orb to int and then randomizes the other orbs and deals some damage. So overall, a really powerful early game unit with orb manipulation. And like I said, if you decide to evolve your Crocodile into the 4-star form, he does do strong poison and is nice on a Sengoku team. So both Crocodiles are pretty good, but I think most people are going to go with the Slasher Crocodile. But definitely a nice unit to get early game. Now, next up on the list, we have Sentomaru, the Science Unit Commander. Now this guy, you get him Shabondi or Sabaody, however you guys want to say it, and what he does is that his captain ability boosts the attack of powerhouse characters, so maybe not too bad for you know, maybe a Fortnite or something if you don't have a powerhouse captain. Attack, nothing too crazy. HP is not bad, it's getting up there. But the reason that I included him on this list is because of his special, which is actually pretty nice. What he'll do is that he's going to deal 20,000 fixed damage and then changes a captain's orb into matching orb. I'm sorry, friend captain's orb into matching orb. 20,000 fixed damage, you're getting up into Princess Turtle range. It actually surpasses, you pass that threshold. So anytime you can deal over, or anytime you can one-shot a Princess Turtle, worthy of putting on the team potentially, you can go with Tile Stone, but in this case, it also changes the friend captain to matching orbs. You can also see some play there. Definitely a nice unit, again, a versatile unit. Definitely would try to pick him up if you could. Now, next up, we have one of my personal favorites, someone that I use a lot, and that is Gecko Moria, Thriller Bark Ruler. Now, in my opinion, I'm more interested in the 4-star form, 3-4-star form, than the 5-star form. His captain ability is decent. It actually has some damage potential for sure, so don't sleep on that captain ability. And his attack, and again, sort of very on the low end. HP almost on the high end, I would say. But his captain special is similar to what we just covered. 10 hits of 5,000 fixed damage, that's 50,000. Again, that's Princess Turtle range. Also, on top of that, the 10 hits means that it can get through certain hit barriers. He's one of the few characters in the game that does 10 hits. And definitely for free-to-play, you don't really see this very often besides maybe Nightmare Luffy. So definitely recommend getting Gecko Moria, because 10 hits can definitely make the difference against certain hit barriers, especially in Colosseums and stuff like that. Definitely an awesome unit to have for both those utilities. Now, we got one of my favorite ones, one of the ones that started a lot of stuff on my channel, and that is Chef Zeff at number 5. Now, Chef Zeff, the reason that he's on the list, and the reason he's top 5, is because just look at that captain ability, boost the attack of fighter characters by 2.5. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but considering that you get him very early on in the story mode, you can get him pretty much on your first day of playing Treasure Cruise if you just grind enough. Then definitely something that could be good. His stats are pretty mediocre, but even if you combine it with a special, it changes strength orbs to dex orbs. Again, that's sort of early game orb manipulation that you're looking for. And you can even use this late game. On top of that, he has the very, very important quality of being used for rankings. You're going to see Zeff used on a lot of rankings. I definitely recommend getting him even if you're, end game, because he's going to make rankings a lot easier. I've used him for at least 5 or 6 of them, so definitely recommend getting Chef Zeff at some point. Now, moving on to number 4. Now, this is Miss Doublefinger, the human Spike. Again, looking at that attack, very mediocre attack and pretty bad HP. On top of that, nothing really going on with her captain ability. But she is very good because she has a very unique ability, which you can't really get anywhere else besides of a 3D2Y Usopp. She's going to boost green units by 1.5, one of the early game must farm characters for sure. Personally on my Japan account, I still don't have 3D2Y Usopp despite the number of pulls I've done. So definitely having Miss Doublefinger on my team is going to be a must-have for any green team or any green-based set of characters. 1.5 boost, never underestimate that. I'd highly recommend getting her. If you do have 3D2Y Usopp, then you can even use her for 2 turns of burst. So it's not, you can't go wrong with this one. Definitely, like I said, makes top 5, and I definitely think that you should farm Miss Doublefinger. Now next up we got Leopard Lucci. This is going to be the blue Rob Lucci from story mode. He's going to boost the attack of fighters by 2.75 if HP is below 30% at the start of the turn. That actually has some pretty good damage potential, not too hard to trigger. Massive attack for a story character. You're talking about 1300, and HP, it's decent. It's 2.2, so not bad. But his ability to change adjacent orbs to quick orbs, and as well as recovery orbs to quick orbs, really is a must-have for any blue team. Especially when combined with Doublefinger. If you manage to have a Legend Dofi, that's all matching orbs on a blue team. This is like I said, a must-have for most early game, mid game, even end game blue teams. Makes them much more consistent, especially against raid bosses. And even through Thatch, sometimes it's hard to get the right orbs. It can lead to dying. So again, makes blue teams much more consistent. Can change meat orbs to blue orbs for potential burst on certain levels. Overall, a great unit, strong unit for blue teams. Now, we're moving on to the top 2. Now, at number 2, I have Magellan, Chief Warden of Impel Down. Now, this guy's going to boost the attack of all shooters, strikers, and powerhouse characters by 2.25. So, try Captain, a Tri-type Captain. That's insane. That's actually pretty crazy. I didn't even know this until I was looking up for this video. And massive HP, 3000 HP, the most I've seen. So he's definitely, right off the bat, catches my eye. But his special does something that's insane. Cuts HP of all enemies by 20%. And then strongly poisons one enemy and poisons all other enemies. So at this point you have a big HP cut, strong poison, and just poison overall for everyone. This is a type of unit you want to bring into some sort of training island because it takes care of the strong enemies and the weak enemies with high defense. Overall, I think once you get skill books for this guy and potentially maybe some farmable sockets, he's going to start seeing a lot more play. So I would go ahead and farm him before you forget. And then finally we have Akainu. This is going to be one of the most craziest units because first of all, it's a 2.5 attacker for Driven, which is pretty insane. Stats are pretty good, almost 1400 attack. HP is medium, and just like I'm saying, 2.5 attack for Driven. You don't really see too many good Driven free-to-play units at all. And so the fact that we get a free-to-play 2.5 captain is pretty incredible. And on top of that, his special also does damage and boosts driven by 1.5 for 1 turn. So I think he's a must-have unit in case you ever need to use him on a driven team. Now, you know, maybe if you have Caesar, you might not need him, but it's still a very awesome unit to have. And definitely, like I said, it enables a lot of free-to-play teams for Ambition. So I would go ahead and definitely get him. Now, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Some honorable mentions. Pretty much a lot of the Marineford units are pretty good. However, they do sort of get underwhelmed by some of their raid boss counterparts. But overall, you're starting to see a lot of the story mode characters becoming more and more powerful. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to check out some of my other top 10s down below. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks again for the support that you guys always show. So make sure to subscribe for more top 10s that are going to be coming in the future. You don't want to miss them. And with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, peace.